How you doing here, folks? Zeus Mossbender here with Zeus On The Loose. Been a while since I posted one of these up there on the YouTube. Now, before we go any further, I want to say thank you to everyone who follows the channel, and especially to the subscribers. Can you believe it? On October the 5th, 2015, it'll be the 2-year anniversary of the Zeus Mossbender channel right here on YouTube. Time's flying fast. So on behalf of myself, Zeus Mossbender, and Laban Schnall, and his wife Shirley, and my brother Fritzy, and Laban's little Polish friend Shaul, I want to thank you, and may Elohim bless you beyond all measure. And pardon me, I have phlegm. Okay, now, let's go on with this here episode of Zeus On The Loose. Got a couple of things to share with y'all here. First off, I want to mention that in October of last year, almost a full year ago, I posted up here on YouTube a Zeus On The Loose episode 4. In that episode, I talked about how I went to the Lutheran coffee house to see a performance of the Protestant Reformation as seen through the eyes of Alpine travelers interpreting such to the music of George Bizet. Now, you can see that video. I put up a Zeus On The Loose playlist, and that one's episode 4. You can check that out when you have opportunity. Now, I must add, if you take a look at the photos up there, now, just by looking at those photos, I believe a person might be hard-pressed to come up with the part of the Protestant Reformation that's actually being depicted here. But the actors shown are in tandem, in fact, portraying the young Ulrich Zwingli, who is about to enter the Grossmünster in Zurich in the year 1518. So you know, just imagine it. Now, what I do feel is obvious by those photos is the overwhelming sense of the influence of the works of Erasmus upon the young reformist. You can see it. I know you can. Now, the reason I bring this up is really just for one reason, to tell you all that the Lutheran Coffee House, where I have seen many excellent shows, including this one here, well, it's been sold. And it was sold to a friend of my brother Fritzy. Now, I'm not at liberty to divulge the name of Fritzy's friend, but I can tell you that the new owner of the Lutheran Coffee House is none other than Ted Ott. Ted Ott of Ted Ott's Wig Hole. That picture there, that's Ted Ott. And as the flyer shows, he makes clothes out of old wigs. And look close at the picture. You can even see he's wearing them. He's wearing them old wigs. But figures it's a selling point, you know. Now Ted started making clothes out of old wigs several years ago, and actually made a few headlines when he became the person to host the very first wet hair shirt contest. I stayed away from that. But you see, the interesting thing is that aside from selling them hairy clothes, he's continuing to have entertainment at his establishment at the old Lutheran Coffee House, which is now the Wig Hole. Well, as you can see also there in the ad, he hosted 4 floor shows that took place several weeks ago, the last having occurred on September 10th, one that I personally attended. Now, I'll get into that in a moment. I didn't go to the other shows. As you can see there, it was a late summer floor show, September 7th through the 10th, 2015. On the 7th, they had Alabaster Tom with Crisco. On the 8th, there was Steve Pippett and his 12 Smells. And then on 9, number 9, There Shall Be No Later, featuring Claire. Now, at first, when I looked at those, I thought, this must be, their bands, playing music and all. But they ain't. I mean, look at some of that Alabaster Tom with Crisco. I found out what that was. It was a guy came out on stage and fried pork for like 3 hours. I didn't go. And then there's Steve Pippett And those 12 smells, I didn't even want to know what that was. I didn't even want to know. And then there shall be no later, was featuring Claire in parentheses. I don't know what that is either. But man, you know, you gotta wonder, you know, what's going on at Ted Arts. Now let me talk about the show I did see. Now see, if you look at the bottom of the ad, you'll read what it says there. See back of ad for September 10 performance details. So I flipped it over. And that's what's on it. 1.5 nights only, whatever that means. Worm and a log dance. Appearing live at Ted Arts Wig Hole 9/10/2015 by invitation only. Now, let me tell you something. You gotta have an invitation to even get in the Wig Hole. I mean, even to see the other shows, see. That's why he ain't got no website or address or phone number on his ads. See, now, of course, you might remember where the old Lutheran coffee house was, but you ain't getting in without no invitation. I'll tell you that right now. But you know, I'm looking close at this picture, and I'm thinking, man, that looks familiar to me. And I'm racking my brain, but it ain't coming to me. And then a little while later, I was going through some old get well cards that I got when I had my ears cleaned, and I found one from old friend Gil. Now I ain't seen Gil for a while now, 'cause he ain't living anymore, 'cause he's dead. And it hit me right then. Just like old Laban Schmal says, snack, mac, or whatever he says. The last time I was with Gil is when we saw that strange man out in the creek down behind Hillbilly's house. And I posted a video on it. It's a little over a year ago. It was Zeus On The Loose episode 3. You can see it on the playlist. It's called A Sighting in FEMA Region 3. And I remember that I took some still shots of whatever that thing is, so I compared them to the picture that's on the Ted Arts flyer. And look at him. See, look at the shirt there. That's his name. And then I look at what he's holding on to there, and that one there. He's got a log. He's holding on to log. So I said, that's got to be what this is. So I thought, what are the odds of this? I got to get in there and see this. So I managed to get an invitation to the show through my friend TT. As he went and saw that other one, he went in there and got some of that fried pork. Well, I saw the show. I even managed to record it. The quality ain't so good because I used my old big as a house, old Panasonic camcorder. And I'm going to show you exactly what I saw up at Ted Arts Wig Hole on September 10, 2015. But let me tell you something first. I gotta tell you this. Before I show you what I saw up Ted Arts, I would be greatly remiss if I was not to share with y'all another interesting story that is related to none other than Ted Art. Now come to find out, old Ted has connections to some famous people. Now one of them being this gentleman right here. Daryl Hall, a great singer, songwriter, musician. Yeah. Now, as many of you know, he's got a show on the web and on the Palladium channel on TV called Live from Daryl's House. But he also has a program where he does renovations on old houses and such, something like that. Well, Ted Art tells the guy who's friends with my brother Fritzy, and Daryl Hall is looking for somebody that knows how to do woodwork. You know, like more specifically, like lattice work, like lattice, how to cut out patterns and such, you know. So Fritzy comes up to me and he says, I'm going to go up there. And I said, what? You don't know nothing about new lattice work. What's the matter with you? Fritzy says, I'll just show up. I'll say I'm here. Well, once Fritzy gets something in his head, ain't no doing nothing about it. That's it. You know, like I think a couple years back with Putin. Man, oh man. So he goes up to Daryl Hall's house. And he says, here I am. And there he is. There's Fritzy Mossbender standing right in the middle of this huge cookout that Daryl Hall's having. He's drinking Rob Roy's and eating hot dogs, and Daryl Hall grabs him. Wants him to play a song. Look at this. There's a picture. Look at that. Look at Fritzy's face. He can't play no guitar. He's left-handed, too. And he told me he looked over at Daryl Hall and he says, "Excuse me, I can't play this thing." And Hall's yelling, "Play it, just play it." And Fritzy's thinking, "Geez, I wonder if this is how we talk to Oates." So it's getting dark. And they go inside. And they're still playing. Now, by this time, Fritzy's got to go to the toilet. Look at his face. Look at him in that picture. He's literally looking around for where's the bathroom. So he finally says to Daryl Hall, "Hey, man, I gotta go to the toilet." And Hall says, "Say it ain't so." And Fritzy says, "No, man, I really gotta go." And Daryl Hall says, "No, that's the name of my song. Play it." Eventually, Fritzy gets to go to the bathroom. And when he comes out, there's Todd Rundgren standing there. And he walks up to Fritzy and gives him a saxophone. And Fritzy's like, "Are you some kind of sick nut? I can't play this." And Rundgren says, "Play it." So Fritzy starts blowing into it. And he said it must have sounded worse than one of them cows getting slaughtered by the Muslims on the day of sacrifice. But them two were just sitting there playing and singing like nothing. Like nothing's wrong. Well, Fritzy managed to get out of there. And when he got back, I asked him what he thought overall about the whole experience. He said, "Well, at least I got a decent meal out of it." Man, oh man, old Fritzy. Well, what the adventures of Fritzy Mossbender and Daryl Hall got to do with this thing here, I don't know. But we got old Ted Hart to thank for it. Now, like I said, I first saw this, whatever that thing is, last year in the creek bed with my friend Gil out back at Hillbilly's house. But I got another chance to see it again at Ted Hart's Wig Hole on September 10, 2015.